Now you got stuck in my fucking head.
Success.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. Hello. No, just talking to my browser screens here. Ah. No one escapes the wrath. Oh, born on Valentine's Day. How sweet.
Oh shit.
You know how this game is played. Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday.
Solomon Grundy just wants pants. Solomon Grundy.
Okay, let's try some camera action here. No, you turn it on. No, turn it on and then off again.
Right.
It helps. Yep. Unplug that. Plug in these. Oh, shit. Here we go. Damn it. Song out of my head. Jesus Christ. Son of a bitch.
Oh, I know you hate me right now, don't you?
Yeah. Once we get talking, I'll forget about it. As long as you don't start singing it when the fucking show's over. So, we're live. Holy shit.
Yes. Getting everybody behind the scenes.
Okay, I can mute that. I don't need to hear it. 15 minute audio kicks in. I hear again. Oh, you hate me right now, don't you? Yeah, you could say that twice. Say that again. And we are almost there. What color do we want to do today? Let's do red because it's fucking smoldering here. I'll leave the Helios background up because it's fucking in the desert. Maybe I'll psychosomatically make myself cooler in the background. Here's cool tones. It's gonna be all bullshit. Whatever I'm gonna do, we're gonna try it. Actually reminds me, I was kind of reminiscing the other day. I've been screwing around with my Steam account. I downloaded the Master Chief Collection a couple years back. and I'm struggling to get my Microsoft account aligned with it.
Okay.
It's letting me play them because I've been having an urge to play them. And it just reminds me because one of my favorite games in the series, even though it's not part of the Master Chief collection, is Reach. And I don't know if you know anything about the story of that game. It's basically just a disaster movie. Like by the end of the game, everybody's dead, even you. Like you're on a planet called Reach. It's being invaded by the Covenant, and you are leading a desperate attempt to defend the planet, all for naught. But there's one part when you're flying through this fucking city and buildings are tumbling around you and the enemy's blasting the planet and shit. You have to go into this office building to respond to this distress call from some Marines in the building, and you get there and you're running through and you're fighting. It's fucking shit blowing up, explosions, all kinds of crazy shit. And then you jump in the elevator to go up a few floors, and like for just a brief few moments, you're just sitting there and it's like do 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 do, and you're just like waiting, like in the middle of combat. It's just playing elevator music while you're riding up this elevator in the middle of some devastated city hellscape during an alien invasion, and it's like takes you out of the moment, but in an interesting way.
Like in the like the Ninja Turtles movie, when they were in the elevator and they were going up to where Shredder was.
Exactly.
And you just hear ding 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 DJ Mikey ding 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 DJ Mikey.
Scenes in sci-fi, like Mass Effect has one too. In the first game, your character, primarily Garrus, is always wanting to have a conversation with you in the elevator. And then you get to the third game, like years later, and you're all in an elevator, and he's like, anybody want to have an elevator conversation? And the other two characters like, no. And again, talking about alien invasions and mass devastation going on, and here's a moment of zen in the elevator.
So of course, that's where I guess all negotiations take place, in the elevator.
It's the Night Owl bringing you soothing tones from Frank Sinatra on this Friday evening. Wishing everybody well and a wonderful weekend.
And now we got playing The Lady from Empanada. Boom, 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 boom.
I didn't even know the name of the song, so hey, props to you. I know you don't
That's
like
just
Apple devices, but
that's just
God.
weird. A weird random fact that I know. That's
One of those weird things that you know.
yeah. And I don't know why.
Yeah, but I know you don't like Apple devices and stuff, so you wouldn't have access to it. But they have this TV show based on a book series called The Murderbot Diaries.
Okay.
It's about a security android that disconnects its own governor module, which prevents it from doing its own thing, and now it's like becoming sentient. And it's just so funny because he's always annoyed because he feels compelled to protect the humans he's been assigned to, but yet all he wants to do is watch soap operas and for them to not bother him. It's hilarious.
Can I get on? Can I get something on my iPad? Oh, it's on Apple TV.
Yeah, it's on Apple TV. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The first season's almost over, and it's based on a series of books called The Murderbot Diaries. It's hilarious.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Or Sec Unit, who's named himself Murderbot, is played by Alexander Skarsgård.
Oh, okay. All right.
True Blood.
Yeah.
Tarzan.
Yeah, the Skarsgård boy.
One of them. Yeah, there's a few of them.
That's one of them Skarsgård boys.
One of them Skarsgård boys. Dad is most famously known as what's his name? Professor runs around in his underwear in Avengers.
And yeah. the one that got his mind got mind controlled by Loki.
Yep. He's mostly in the Thor movies, but he's made other appearances.
So yeah, I remember Alex Skarsgård from True Blood.
Right. And then there's the other Skarsgård, the one that played
Pennywise.
In the remake of It. Yeah.
And that dude, he's probably one of the nicest guys ever, but oh my God, he looks creepy as hell.
I always heard the same thing about Tim Curry, and he scared the shit out of me as Pennywise the first time.
Yeah, Tim Curry, just And again, he's probably one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Probably, I don't know, but he probably is one of the absolute nicest guys you'll ever meet. But he just sounds just absolutely just terrifyingly creepy.
Oh yeah. I mean, Tim Curry freaked me out as Dr. Frankenfurter. And that was a comedy.
Right?
But in Tim Curry's defense, he played the coolest on-screen representation of the devil/darkness I've ever seen in a movie. Period. From Legend.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
With Tom Cruise,
Mm-hmm.
and the unicorns. Mia Sarah.
Yep. Mia Sarah.
Thor's girlfriend.
And
I'll always be Thor's
shit.
girlfriend because I've only seen her in those two movies.
Oh shit.
Are we live on the places? I know we're on YouTube's.
We're live on the YouTubes. Oh. Yeah. We're live on the
All right,
YouTube.
we're recording, so hey.
So
Yo,
should be recording. And we're
it's your
recording.
favorite Star Trek channel. It's your favorite Star Trek time. We're back again. Rules and Nerdquistion. Congratulations. This is Gilbert. It's hot as hell here.
It's hot as hell here.
Hot as hell there. We're all melting. I'm melting. Just, it's over. We're done. We won't be able to do next week's show because we'll be pools of goo after Tuesday. When it's
Yeah.
over 100 degrees.
And we'll be the goo of Nerdquisition.
The goose of Nerdquisition. The gelatinous cubes of Nerdquisition.
Oh,
Well, I mean,
But-
what, I guess the question is, what would you rather be, a pool of goo or a fine red mist?
facts. You know, so
Am I still
You know,
sensitive
I don't know.
to this pool of goo?
either way, you know.
I was having a very
I don't
brief
know.
discussion with my roommate on the way back from our little farmer's market, Trader Joe's outing this morning, and I don't know how the conversation got up. You know, Iran being bombed by the U.S., blah, blah, blah. And I started talking about, like, you know, primary targets in a nuclear war in the United States. And we're on the East Coast. We're done. We're toast.
Oh yeah.
We're all done.
Oh yeah. I know.
We had to stop that conversation because I guess I was touching on some of her, like, deepest seated fears. So, but while she changed the subject, I continued to look at my phone, like, okay, what's the best route out of Massachusetts? Bombs start dropping. Which way do I go? Can't swim to New Zealand. How do I get there?
It's like
How long would it take to row?
so who do I know that has a boat? You know, so
One of my very good friends here in Boston actually lives in Situate. Yes, I said that correctly for any Massachusetts people watching. Owns a fishing company, so owns a couple commercial fishing boats.
okay.
Rush to Boston if I'm not piloting, if I'm not climbing over like cinders and ash, and I myself am not vaporized. Anyway, Rules and Nerdquisition, doing what we always do. We're gonna talk Trek today. Back on Trek.
So we're having a little
Here all week.
trek. Ha 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 ha.
It's time to get back on Trek.
So we are talking. Which one are we talking today? We are talking. Let me look
War.
at. Oh my gosh, a Private Little War.
And if we're doing the
So,
2-episode
Private
spiel,
Little
we
War
will-
and Return to Tomorrow. That's what we're talking today.
when
Private
we
Little
end
War.
tomorrow to return to it. Hey, you know, whatever. Why ask why? Try by drive.
I don't know. Why ask why? George, what's going on, man? George up in the chat.
George up in the chat. How we doing, George? Nice to see you. Don't mind me. It's hot. I'm just trying to numb the pain a little bit. Although, I have finally acclimated to, so I kind of lost my tolerance a little bit. These gummy crunches are fantastic.
Nice. Just sitting out.
Yes, the man in the unicorn gorilla suit. And you see how Kirk defeats him, right? They're on a train, and it's actually a dude in a unicorn albino gorilla suit, and he locks him in a cage with a real unicorn albino gorilla thing.
Right.
Oh no, that was Trading Places. Never mind.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I'm kidding.
it's. I mean, you know.
Nice.
I guess how do you fight an albino unicorn thing? I don't know.
I thought you had to be pure of heart to even get near a unicorn. How is Kirk getting close to this thing? Because they have a little scuff up.
Well, I guess he shouldn't have been talking shit.
Don't talk shit to the giant gorilla-y albino unicorn or not. If you don't have a lightsaber, let's maybe not.
Right? Because I mean, at any point in time, they could rip your arm off. So let the Wookiee win.
Yeah, don't beat it in space chess.
Yeah. Run. You know, very far, very fast. Run. Just keep running. You know. And just don't stop running.
Right. And according to my roommate, he came up with a new rule today. So one of my biggest pet peeves in the world is people who improperly pronounce Iraq and Iran. They say Iran or Iraq. And my roommate has now come up with a new rule that if you say Iran the wrong way, you need to sing it. And I ran so far away. Yes, the Mugato
I like
is poisonous.
I like it.
Como arigato, Mr. Mugato.
Okay, I like it.
Everything into an oldie.
Okay, I like it. Picasso.
So what? The Enterprise is traveling to the planet Neural, and Kirk has been here before. He's been in it before. He's been all up in it before.
He's been here. You know, probably. You know, probably. You know, left some little, you know, Kirklings around in a few of the ladies. You know, so you know we have to go under the assumption of that. Because this is Kirk.
Yes.
He's going to do his job, regardless. We all know he's going to do his job.
He's going to do the job. We're just saying he's been up in it.
But, you know, he's going to, you know, he's going to do his job thoroughly. I'll phrase it that way, yes. Thoroughly. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, so what Spock beats down with him, right? And because Kirk is looking for his buddy. And he sees some, like, villagers preparing an ambush, and they've got guns. Now Kirk has been here before. He knows, like, no, these are like bow and arrow people. These are slingshot people.
Like this is
right? What's going on?
Yeah, this is way too advanced for them. I mean, not to say that, you know, because they're not human, you know, that their evolution way is going to be different. You know, not saying that, you know, but
they're just a little further behind.
But this is kind of like way too advanced.
Now, what's interesting to me, though, is that Kirk has been here before. He knows his friend Tyree, who incidentally is played by Michael Whitney, who passed away November 30th of 1983. 100%.
100%.
One shot, one kill. Anyway, who knows Kirk is from space, so it's not like they're not aware.
Like they know
greater spatial.
Yeah, it's like they're aware that, you know, he's. I don't know if they know exactly he's from another planet, but they know he's from the skies, I guess, so to speak, you know? So
Right. They know he's future man.
Right, yeah. You know? And so they're cool with that. They understand that. And so, you know, they're friends. So they go in and pop in and say, hey, what's going on, man? Then it's like, yo, how do they have guns?
Yeah. And interestingly enough, while these villagers are using guns on the hill people, which, you know, Tyree, Kirk's friend, are a part of, for some reason that still means Kirk and Spock can't use phasers, so they just start throwing rocks.
They just start phasering.
No, they start throwing rocks. Because
They throw
yeah,
rocks, and
they're
then when
forbidden to
the
use phasers. So Kirk throws a rock towards the villagers, causing one of their guns to go off, and a chase ensues.
dun, dun,
Spock is
dun.
shot. Spock is shot.
I mean,
Spock shot.
even though
Shell Spock.
even they probably could shot one of the guns, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, interestingly enough, I would think. I mean, and this is probably just the writers not having full capacity, because we've already seen it, like even in newer series of Star Trek, that era of Star Trek would be vastly more advanced than they're portrayed in the 60s
Yeah,
when the show first came out. You would think they could just use their phaser and fire like a
concentrated
beam.
Yeah, like a little concentrated
like,
beam.
Nothing, like it made their gunpowder inert or something.
Right.
So
So yeah, it throws a rock.
throws a rock. Like the first line from the
But it's-
Voltron animated series. Box.
With sticks and stones and rocks and spears.
Yeah.
So yeah, he used rock, and then Kirk saves the day
Spock-
with throwing the rock.
But Spock takes a hit, and he's shell Spocked, so he has to be taken back
Mhm.
to the Enterprise.
Shell Spock.
Get some-
That's
Shell Spocked. You like that?
I like that. I like that. Trademark that. I like it. Picasso.
Trademark it. I want a quarter every time somebody says it.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, see?
We're gonna make a lot of
I want
money,
piece of
kid.
the action.
We're gonna make a lot of money, kid. Stick with me, kid. You're going straight to the top.
Straight for the stars, kid. Straight for the stars.
Oh
We got a plan, see?
And so then, and then Spock when he goes up, and I think that's when Kirk gets he gets his ass handed to him by the albino gorilla unicorn.
Yeah. Yep.
Or he gets
Well, McCoy comes back
Well-
down, or McCoy's unable to call for help. I think at some point, what's it say here? Two are attacked by the bites
Mhm.
Kirk, right? Yeah. I thought it was later in the episode. I guess I was wrong. But
No,
but
it was-
before McCoy can kill it with his phaser. Thank you, McCoy, for not throwing a rock at it.
yes. Thank you for
Thank you
using instead of just
using
saying
kidneys.
oh.
Kidneys, man. Use your kidneys.
Exactly. I appreciate that. So not just being like, well, this is too advanced. I'm gonna use a rock. No.
Next,
Hey.
you're going to try and lure it away with nuts and berries.
All right. So Kirk gets bit.
Yeah,
He gets bit.
and the hill
And
people show up after Kirk kills the Mugato.
he goes, the Magatu. The Magatu. I like it, Magatu. So he kills the Magatu. And then
Y'all come back
So,
now
yeah.
for me if you Mugato. Mugato.
hey, we gotta go.
This, ladies and gentlemen,
Say,
is why
hey,
we
ma
don't
gotta
have our
go.
sponsorship yet.
Said,
Because
Hey,
we're
ma gotta
absolutely
go.
retarded here. Sorry, I shouldn't
do
use that word.
do
We're
do do do. Ma gotta go. Boop do do do. Ma gotta go. Do, 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 do.
You say Mugato, I say Mugata.
Mugatu, Mugata. Do,
Mugato,
do, 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 do.
Mugato.
Mugata.
Oh, dear Lord.
So yeah, he gets bit. He goes into a shock, coma, fever. Goes into cold sweats and just all kinds of just illnesses. He falls out, gets poisoned, and he can't do anything. And he's paralyzed and just he's gone to the world. He's almost gone.
Oh, yeah. Because as George astutely pointed out in the chat, the Mugato is poisonous.
Highly poisonous. Highly poisonous. And then lo and behold, who's the one that can unpoison and fix him? Of course, I mean McCoy can, but by the time he'll be able to, it'll be too late. So,
fun little fact: the Mugato is played by Janos Prohaska. Although he did pass away March 13th, 1974, that was not my intent of bringing him up. He also portrayed the Horta in the episode "The Devil in the Dark."
Oh.
But
fact.
appeared on many shows, including The Outer Limits, Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie, Lost in Space, and Gilligan's Island, where he played a gorilla, a man in a gorilla suit.
Oh, it says here, the Mugato was originally called the Gumato, but DeForest Kelley kept mispronouncing it, so it was changed.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice one, DeForest.
Thank you, Dr. McCoy.
Air on me, good grief.
Thank you, Dr. McCoy. Had you mint julep on him.
So Tyree, he's the leader of the Hill people now, and he is married to Nona.
And Nona...
to woman.
And Nona...
who can cure the bite of the Gumato. Oh, I'm sorry, DeForest, the Mugato.
Oh, the Gumato. I mean, Mugato. Gumato, Mugato.
The Domo Arigato. All
Domo Arigato, Mr. Gumato. So yes, the only one that can cure him is Krell, who's the wife of Tyree. So, and there's something about her. It's just odd. Something's off. Because she needs to know way too much. Like a typical Karen, just needs to know way too much about you.
Right. I mean, and something does seem off. Like you're on an isolated planet, not part of the Federation. How do you know that every woman in the universe wears midriffs?
Right. Like, I mean,
it's the fashion of the century.
Let's see. It doesn't look like that planet has Wi-Fi. I'm just saying. So, how are they able to get that communication? How did they know? I mean, there's no like, Vogue. You know what I mean?
No, but she does have an ulterior motive, and she's trying to get firearms for the tribe. She's trying to get Tyree to get firearms for the tribe. She wants some of them fire sticks. We had heaters, right. 2 episodes.
We had heaters.
A couple episodes. Now we got
fire sticks. So she wants to get some fire sticks because, she wants... I guess she either wants one side to be completely dominant or just completely eliminated. This woman
and I think in the end she's looking out for herself because, as we'll get to shortly, we find out that her loyalties aren't necessarily concrete.
No, they're very they're very fluid. They're very fluid. Her loyalties
Liquid.
Are fluid.
Almost gooey, like we will be in a couple of days when it hits 100 degrees here.
Absolutely. The only thing I am not looking forward to is having to go out and cut the grass again because because it was way too hot. No. So I'm not looking forward to that.
Well, hopefully the heat won't let it grow so much. My roommate does not believe in grass. We don't have any. We have cover and brick patios. My name is Gretchen, and I support this message. No lawn mowing.
I'm almost jealous.
I enjoy living in a house again, but there were benefits to apartment life.
But I take that back. I'm jealous because I hate cutting grass. I'm not gonna lie. I've always hated cutting grass. Secrets out.
I owned and operated a landscape construction company for 3 seasons. And even when you do that, usually your bread and butter is going to be your mowing accounts. They're the ones that repeat every week. It's always bringing in money.
Mm-hmm.
The big thousands of dollars projects, they come once in a while, especially for a small company starting out. After 2.5 seasons, I was like, why am I doing this? I hate this work. Like, I hated it for the 20 years I did it before this, and now I'm doing it for myself. Why?
Yeah. It sucks. I hate it.
Why?
I do it because I have to, but like if there was some way
here,
like if there's
tell
some
me where I may find James.
Where? But if there was some way that it would economically work out great for me to where I could replace my grass with astroturf, guaranteed it'd happen.
Okay, we've got Roombas and we've got Scoombas. Where is the Lamba?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just comes off its little stand and cuts the grass whenever it detects, like, oh, warning, grass over 3.5 inches.
You know what? I think there's something out that's like that. As a matter of fact, I think I saw it on YouTube. Yeah, because the guy, he had a little robot thing, and first thing was, he had to, program it to where exactly, parameters of the yard and what to cut around it and stuff like that.
Yeah, there is actually a version of Roomba called the Lawn Roomba, and also when I typed in Lawn Roomba, the third sponsored search result is buyersguide.org, 10 best robotic mowers of 2025. So they do exist. I should have known better. I mean, come on, it's 2025. This is automation apps. I mean, like I've told you before, I live in a house that is so old it has no light switches. You can literally, the way my roommate has to set up, walk into any room and be like, hey, Google, turn this room on, turn that room on, turn that. And it's just, you don't have to touch anything. You just talk to the house and it does everything.
That's convenient and inconvenient at the same time.
It is. It is. It is. Like
I mean, I would.
Sometimes I'll whisper, like, Google, are you listening? And it'll be like, no, I'm not.
I'm not listening, bitch. Just keep on going with your life.
Boring ass human. You have nothing interesting to say.
All you do is math. That's it. You do math and smoke weed. That's all you do.
And talk about Star Trek. You're so one-dimensional. Anyway.
Oh, but yes, Kirk needs help, and she's asking way too many questions, and Tyree is all up in love with her.
But he's also warning, like, hey, we need to save my friend, but at the same time, if she saves him, he will be powerless to deny her any request.
Yeah. And she's telling him, say, look, I could save him. Yeah, I could save him, but, he will be just like you and do whatever I tell him. So he's like, yeah, go ahead, save him. And she saves him. And Kirk does whatever she says.
Yeah, and I just want to go out here and say, I mean, I kind of feel bad for Tyree because he actually seems like he was a cool dude.
Yeah.
Like him and Kirk genuinely,
they were genuine friends.
Good job of making them feel like they were longtime friends.
Yeah.
Even though he was also like, I know you, Kirk, and I'm going to let my wife save you, but man, I swear to God, if you do your Kirk thing.
Said, I've seen you in action. I'll let my wife save you, but you know what? Said, we're friends and all, but I will punch you in the mouth.
Law don't go around here. You hear me, Law Dog? Law don't go around here.
My name's Tyree, whatever I say, go.
I can pull a movie quote out of anything.
I see that, obviously.
Which, by the way, just on a side note,
Mm-hmm.
that particular quote comes from Stephen Lang, playing the character of Ike Clanton, who also played the evil Colonel in Avatar. So he's got some sci-fi cred too.
Oh, alrighty.
Got some sci-fi cred.
All right, I like it. Picasso.
So Miles Quaritch.
I don't know why I got that in my head now.
I don't know. I don't know why you got it in your head either, but once we get off the show, I'm gonna be like turning everything off, like do 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 do, because he did that to me before the show started, and now I can't stop thinking about it. Okay, so she administers this like medicine, like this root thing, and then there always has to be like sexy dance time.
Of course, because
when you're curing someone from space albino unicorn disease.
Yeah, from being space poisoned, by an albino gorilla unicorn thing. Of course, part of the cure is a sexy dance.
Sexy dance.
So he gets a shot, and then she gets called to the main stage. The Krell. Time for the main stage. So she goes, does her sexy dance, main stage, sexy dance.
Right, and then lo and behold, he's healed. She kind of empathically absorbs damage, but is also healed. And then then we get into the crux of what the title of the show, A Private Little War, is really about, because Kirk is able to actually talk to Tyree and be like, hey, so what is actually going on? Let's talk about them fire sticks.
Yeah.
When you talk about the fire sticks, like, dude, and Tyree's like, well, we saw them like a year ago. They popped up like a year ago. And he's
yes, George.
Weird.
Yes, George.
Our loyalist fan. Always there with the good times. Always there with the good times.
But yeah, he and Tyree.
For anyone who only listens to the show in podcast format, you should roll over to our YouTube channel. It's much more lively. You can see both of our beautiful faces, and you can also see the wonderful inputs from George, our bestest fan of all in the world. So he has some very wonderful quips in addition.
Yes, and plus the fact you can interact with us as we are doing this as well. And
that's the best thing about this show. I don't like podcasts that talk at you.
Said no, talk with us. Yes, interact with us. We love that. And
yes, we're people.
So
people
yes,
persons.
And you'll get
people,
and you get great quality, content with Girl from Empanada. That was
right. That was perfectly. That was perfectly timed. Yes,
absolutely.
And you can see us at our best when we're all like shiny and happy and new. Did I just quote Love Boat? Oh my God!
I believe you did. I believe you did.
I did. And you can also see us when we're melting into pools of goo, because we are in the middle of like nuclear holocaust, in which no nuclear weapons were actually fired.
Yet.
It is simply the giant nuclear reactor at the center of our solar system that is torturing us today.
Correct.
So
we're talking about the sun,
yay, soul. Yay, soul. I appreciate you.
It's infectious. It has infected George now.
Excellent. If we suffer, you suffer. Mi casa, su casa. That's how it works around here, right? Welcome to the mirror universe.
Yes, but see, you're the only one that's suffering. I'm not. I'm cool. It's already gone from me.
We don't have AC. That is not a thing that exists in this house.
Oh.
Now, my roommate has one.
I'm sorry.
In her bedroom.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Think you need to get one too.
Yeah. I'm going to need another outlet in this room, I think. I'm already running 3 monitors, a laptop, a lighted keyboard, the microphone. I'm charging my Kindle right now.
So yeah, you are.
A lot of.
See, you
I'm like
gotta. You,
I'm daisy chained with surge protectors here. I'm doing like all the things you shouldn't do. Like I'm a nerd, and I'm like, we
it's
don't
like,
do that here. And my roommate's like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, okay, cool.
no,
I mean,
it's
it's not
not.
it's not your house.
No, it's not. I mean, you need an electrician. Like honestly.
I know. I keep being told I have to find one with horsehair drywall experience
Okay.
because yes, our walls are made of horsehair. This is a fact. This is not a joke. I'm not making this up. I am talking to you truthfully now.
All right. Cool.
This is a thing.
All right. Cool. I didn't know that was a thing, but now I do.
I live in an equine box. The Equinian box. That's okay.
So-
I like animals. I mean,
So-
I lovingly own a canine. I live with some felines. I'm very fond of ursines, as many women are these days. You know, that's why we choose the ursine.
So essentially, what you're saying is that.
Bovines only when they're on a grill.
So let me ask you this: then, if your house is a horsehair house, then would the back door be? Would it be the asshole, or would the front door be the asshole?
Interesting. So,
I mean,
hey, I'm going out the horse's ass to water the garden, and then see what she says. Like what? Well, you said the house is made of horsehair. I'm just going out
So,
the
I
back
mean,
door.
is it-
And
or I mean, did
I would think it'd be the back
I mean,
door.
or I mean, is would it be the horse like facing the street, or like not facing the street? Because
well,
I mean, if
that
like
brings in the question: when I go out front and I look around and I'm taking the dog out and I'm coming back, should I not stare at the front door? I mean, am I looking a gift horse in the mouth?
I mean, there's that too. I mean, but if if the horse is turned around,
What is
Then, I mean-
tennis as an outlet, George? I'm not sure what that is. Unless you're talking about like, are you trying to like lose some pounds, go play tennis as a physical outlet? And I'm not really into tennis or pickleball or pickles in general. And I know she doesn't watch the show, but hi, Aaron, my friend, stop sending me videos of pickle stuff. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. I'm not watching them. I just go, oh look, she sent me another pickle video. I'm not watching it.
pickles are great.
I bought a jar of pickled jalapenos today. But when it comes to the specifically pickled cucumber, I'm almost happy that the rabbits ate all the cucumbers I planted. Now my roommate can't pickle them.
See, that's it's
Ah,
diabolical. It's diabolical. Why would you not deny her pickle cucumbers? Why don't you deny her pickles?
look, if a woman wants a pickle, how far be it from me to pickle block her? But I mean, go get your pickle elsewhere. I ain't the one.
No, I'm just saying. Just saying. I mean, come on.
But I don't know, George, if tennis is that a technical term for a type of outlet? I don't know. There is only one outlet in my bedroom, one singular outlet. And I power everything from it. If you run a fan and a space heater at the same time, we're blowing some breakers around here. And never in the fun way.
Not the good way.
Not in the good way. Not in my way, which is the best way. That's beside the point. This is a family-friendly show-ish. Anyway.
Right. It's a family-friendly show, just depending on the family. So there's that.
I am taking another stab at applying to Survivor. God, I hope they never see any of my podcasts here. They're going to be like, we do not want that bitch on our show. But I can do it. Like, I've gone days without eating just because I forgot.
Yeah, so she got this. And she climbs mountains. So, I mean, pff.
That's what I'm saying. 34 out of 50 of the highest points, U.S. state high points.
I mean,
7 martial arts over 10 years. Competent in some, master of none.
I mean,
only eats when she remembers.
That's survival right there.
Survival right there. And some people have said that I'm known to start fires simply by looking at them with, my resting bitch face.
See?
Maybe more of a mental fire kind of thing, but, it's not necessarily like Drew Barrymore from Firestarter deal, but, whatever.
Yeah,
that would be cool, though, wouldn't it?
That would be awesome.
We also wear glasses so I don't inflint. Because you'd have to let me have my glasses. I can't see without them. I can't. Like, I do this, like, oh, look, everyone's blurry.
It's like, right?
And you're only like a foot and a half in front of me, so. And I wear bifocals, so if I could do that, I can't see you're blurry. But if I do this, it's like, oh, hey, look, you're right there.
Oh,
anyway.
See? Yeah, you're double blind. I'm only single blind, but you're double blind.
No. Yeah, doubly single blind. Anyway, definitely single, but doubly blind.
Doubly blind. Yeah, I'm just blind.
Tyree's wife wants fire sticks in more way than one. She wants Kirk's fire sticks. She wants fire sticks for the group. She wants fire sticks.
She wants fire sticks.
Fire sticks for everybody.
Yeah. And not talking about Amazon fire sticks. No. She wants some phasers. She wants some heaters. She wants some guns. She wants some. She's ready to start some shit.
This is my boomstick. The greatest nickname for a firearm in all of cinematic history.
Yes.
This
is my boomstick.
However many dollars at S-Mart. Don't just shop. Shop S-Mart. Or shop smart. Shop S-Mart.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
All right, so we have just unofficially decided that next week, Evil Dead / Army of the Damned should probably be a conversation. Because I can't think of anybody other than Bruce Campbell has had a greater influence and his tendrils in all kinds of comic book movies, sci-fi, horror.
Oh, yeah.
He's been around the block once or 12 times.
Quite a few.
We all praise
just a little bit.
Mr. Campbell. Yes. Okay. Anyway, so Kirk and McCoy decide they're going to sneak into the village, right?
Yep. They decided they're going to sneak into the village because they're going to see what's going on the other side, what's happening with them, how are they getting all these guns, where did they get all the technology and everything from, because they should not be this advanced.
No, they shouldn't. And I think Kirk has already postulated that it could be the Klingons responsible. I mean,
It could be the Klingons because, they did kind of detect a Klingon ship like way off in the distance. So.
And they're always clinging on. So.
There's that.
There's never one far away, I guess, because it's always clinging on. Kind of reminds me when my dog goes poop and you can tell that he clearly ingested a piece of my hair because it starts to come out little nuggets connected by a long string. It's like, oh, cool. You've been eating my hair again. That's nice.
Oh, thanks. That's great.
That is a fantastic quote. You are in charge of two things right now, pal. Jack and shit. And Jack left town. That is second only to the other greatest quote in sci-fi. I am here to kick ass and chew bubblegum.
And I am all out of bubblegum. Yes. From the hot rod, Roddy Piper.
And special shout out to Roddy Piper and Keith David for one of the most amazing street fights in all of cinematic history.
That is true.
It looked brutal. I mean, I swear to God, they were seriously slamming each other into the concrete. I know Roddy could take it.
Yeah.
He wrestled.
Because,
they punish themselves all the time. And that's why even though wrestling isn't quite real, you will never hear me say that wrestlers are not athletes. They absolutely are athletes of the highest order.
No, and everybody will say, and they'll tell you now, is it's everybody says, it's fake. No, it's predetermined.
Predetermined, yes.
Predetermined, yes. Okay, so
Yeah,
in that aspect,
they don't have time to practice scripts.
no.
It's
So, I
just,
mean,
you're gonna roll with it. You're gonna do these moves and lead into each other. Just this is who wins.
because see, here's the thing: the actual match itself. If they could do the moves and whatnot and everything like that, then yeah, the matches it's just a match. But it's the story that's what drives everything. So
they're
it's
also actors.
Yeah,
They're
have to
athletes.
They have to act. They have to act. They have to be able to do these athletic things, and
Absolutely, they do.
yeah. And
Now, the last
even
time
though
I watched,
some may actually hit you, some may not, and if they do hit you and connect, they pull their punches. So
and sometimes you get hit and you can't stop.
yeah,
Almost all of these performances are live.
and so think of it like
They're
this.
being recorded and going
Yeah.
on TV, but you still have to perform in front of 30, 40, 50,000 people.
Yeah, and think of it like this: you see all of movies and television shows where they have the big fight scenes and all the effects that go into with the strings and everything like that. That's the same thing of what they do, the exact same thing. Just as only difference is they do it without a net.
And I'm going to die on this hill, but I swear to God, when Trump stood up from behind that podium during that one day, the ear day, I wanted to just literally jump up and go, woo, because he totally pulled
Oh yeah, yeah.
a Ric Flair there. He totally pulled that was a Mick Foley move right there.
Oh yeah.
100%. I want to know where he kept the razor blade. Was it inside like his cufflink? I mean, come on. You cut yourself.
No. See, it was too bright. He used a blood pill. It's like a blood pack pill. It was way too bright.
Yeah, fair. And there's no scars or anything. I mean, you can see, like, looking at Mick Foley and Ric Flair, you can see the years of
and see,
cutting themselves.
And that's the difference
props
between
to you guys and your dedication to your art.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Because it's a different color between actual blood and a blood pack. So
True.
And that
real
was a blood pack.
Will start to change color once it's attacked. Once it
hits the air and
oxygen very, very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. The last time I watched wrestling, Hulk Hogan was still palling around with Kevin Nash and had a painted on 5 o'clock shadow. Like, dude, your 5 o'clock shadow is black and your hair is blonde.
Pick a lane and stick with it.
Yeah.
But anywho, Kirk.
Anywho. We may only get through one episode because we do have a second topic we want to get to today. So if we don't get to return to tomorrow till next week, it's not going to upset me.
It's not the end of the world.
No.
Tracina in chat. Hey, how you doing, Tracina?
Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you.
So, Kirk is there.
True.
He's getting he's trying to he's going through doing his espionage thing.
To get evidence of outsiders involvement.
trying to find out, his evidence. He's the sneaking and doing the Metal Gear Solid thing. Just
Kirk's
sneaking around
mode,
corners. He's doing the ninja thing. So
is that when the Klingon comes around the corner and I don't know what that sound of Metal Gear Solid when you get detected?
Dun, 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 dun.
A box.
And so he finds evidence, and sees a Klingon.
Right, they find the forge.
They find the forge. They see a Klingon, and then of course, Kirk being Kirk, gets into a fight. And again, it's some of the greatest fight scenes ever. Because it's a double axe handle.
Which he does it like this. That is
And
not
it's
how
just
you do a double axe handle, because you will break fingers.
Yeah.
You do them like this.
yeah.
Or you do them like this.
So
You
doing a
never
wrestling, they
them
do it like this. But if you do it like this,
Right.
you're gonna hurt
That's
something
okay too, though, because you're not
because you're not hurting your fingers.
right. Don't do this. Never lock your fingers in a fight. That's dangerous.
No.
It also hurts because the way the fingers are shaped, like say you did an uppercut like this, you're gonna hit your thumbs first.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's going to hurt.
And as a martial artist, I will say this: there are two things that people don't think about when in a fight, especially if you're not someone who's never been in a fight or trained in martial arts. One, when you're blocking, you're still getting hit, and it hurts. You put up an arm, you block a punch. Yeah, okay, it didn't blow out your orbital bone or anything, but it hurts, and you can have bones broken with punches in your arm. Second of all, when you're punching someone, it hurts because you may be hitting them, but you are also getting hit by their skull when you put your fist into it. So, I mean, like, and hand injuries are some of the most common in all of martial arts, next to maybe like knee injuries, especially in female martial arts because of the disproportionate structure of the pelvic bone ratio to the center of gravity and stuff like that, but food for thought, people. Fist fighting ain't fun. That's why, again, props to Roddy and Keith. My God,
For
y'all
for
lived
making
home off the set that day.
Yeah. For
Every
having
wrestler out there.
Yeah. Because that fight looked brutal. No, that fight looked brutal.
And we're talking about an era where there was no AI back then.
Is that right?
And
so
there wasn't a lot of like moments where, like, you can watch it. I know this is even going farther back, but we'll watch an episode say this where Kirk is fighting. You can clearly see when it's not William Shatner fighting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can see
when it's his stunt double. Especially remember during Space Seed, like he's fighting Khan in the engine room, and it's like that is not.
That's clearly
Bill
not
Shatner.
him.
That is not Bill Shatner. Absolutely not.
And it's like almost the same thing with Spock. If he's in a fight scene, or if it's actually him. If all he does is the neck pinch, but him actually in a fight, yeah, no, that's not him.
Right. Most of any of them, yeah.
They always have a stunt double.
You don't have that these days unless you're Tom Cruise. I mean, I'm not a huge Tom Cruise fan, but hey, props to you, my guy, for doing every freaking stunt in the world.
Right? And like almost like pushing 60. Like, yeah. Impressive, man.
What am I doing a sex movie? I don't know. Maybe I'll just like
impressive
hang off this plane that's flying at 225 knots, and then you could just like do a barrel roll and throw me into the ocean at high speed, and I'll just hit it like a brick wall. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Yeah. Most of us, me and Gilbert, go do belly flop in our friend's pool and be like,
it's like when it's going to shock, it's like,
need CPR.
So meanwhile, he's doing triple jump flips and bouncing off of brick walls, and then jumping off of the ocean, and then doing another backflip, and then grabbing a hang glider, and then and then rappelling down
and then jumping into
down
a
a building
cannon like a circus performer and launching himself like But Tom Cruise wouldn't use a circus cannon. He'd put himself in a rail gun or something and launch himself across the continent and then parachute down.
Yeah, right. And then gently on both feet. Say, meanwhile, we both belly flop into a pool.
Yeah, from like 1.5 feet. Like,
right.
I fell into the pool and hurt myself.
Like, pow,
That's actually a joke. I'm tougher than that. Survivor people may see this in the future. If you ever consider me to be on your show, I am tougher than that, actually.
I'm not. I'm a baby back bitch.
And I'm very charismatic, and I can be devious, and I can lie, and whatever. We'll talk about that another day. Anyway, but yeah, every review I read about the newest Mission Impossible movie is like, this movie sucked. stunts.
But the stunts.
Stunts.
But the stunts.
So
And
anyway,
that's what-
Kirk and McCoy, mostly Kirk,
So
overpower the Klingons.
So they overpower the Klingon with a double axe handle. They fight through the couple of guards that was there. They get jumped, but 2 more guards, and then they overpower those 2 guards.
And that's when Tyree shows up to help, and they grab a flintlock, and they all run away.
So yeah, now that they know Klingons are behind this whole thing.
And
So
so the next day, Kirk is kind of showing them, the Hill people how to use these weapons. Tyree refuses. He doesn't want it. McCoy protests. Kirk is like, yeah, whatever. Both parties need to be on equal ground or whatever. And,
Yeah.
And
So Kirk is like,
here
hey.
comes Tyree's woman again.
And she's like, so,
I got these gummy crunches. It'll make you feel good.
So she's like, what are you guys doing? Okay. Doing some target practicing. Oh, okay. Well, got these gummies here. They're really good. They're good for you. They help you with your aim. And then they take the gummies.
And of course,
she does what she does. She grabs a fire stick.
Well, Mr. Mugatu shows up again.
Mugatu shows up, yes.
Gamatu.
Mr.
Mr. Mugatu. And
Mr. Mugatu.
Kirk vaporizes it with his heater. But his heater, he vaporizes it,
He uses his fire stick to vaporize it.
And then she's like...
The fire stick, he has it on heater settings. And then he vaporizes it. And she sees it. And she's like, hey.
She, unlike Andre the Giant, speaking of wrestlers, actually takes Vizzini's advice. The minute his head is in view, hit it with the rock.
Yeah. Bow. And she does. Knocks him out. Grabs the heater.
The heater.
Grabs the heater. It goes over to the other side. Goes over to the other side, and she's like, yeah, see? She goes over to the other side, and she's like, you know what? Since my husband doesn't have the cojones to pull the trigger on this, I know he does.
The under satchel to saddlebags
to get the job done. To get the job done. I know he does. The other side guy does. So I present to you this fire stick on this heater setting. So yeah, here it is.
On this heater setting. And why isn't there like a little sexy dance that she does kind of with the heater? Like, she's trying to seduce the villagers. She's doing her feminine.
She always
wiles,
does it's the sexy dance.
It's the sexy heater dance.
It's the sexy dance of healing. The sexy dance of
things
the
are
heater.
Things are heatering up right now.
So yeah, she has to do the sexy dance. So she gets to one place, she says sexy dance. She starts to walk someplace else, she does the sexy dance, and then when she gets there, she does the sexy dance.
But they don't believe her, so they're just like, nah, honey, and they put the kibosh on that.
Yeah. So they decided, you know what? Nah. So
I like my hill people, 86, the creepy woman with the heater.
And so they proceed to take care of that.
Yep. Oh. So Kirk and McCoy and Tyree appear. The 2 groups fight, and the villagers run away. But now Tyree is having a whole different thought process. He's like,
yeah, because now
they just killed my sexy dance heater girl.
To kill the sexy dancey heater girl and
Flash dance hill woman.
It's like, right? And so now he's just like,
I'm
all out of love. I'm so lost without
I want
you.
all the streaming capabilities you can give me. I want fire sticks.
So, right?
Like, I want Roku. I want Netflix.
Said, I need all of them.
I need all of them.
I need all of
And
them
I don't
now.
want to pay for each one individually.
No. I need them all. I need
Sell
them
it
now.
to me in bulk.
I need them all. I need them now, and I need it free.
Right.
Period. And,
Yeah. So yeah, Kirk gets on the old radio. Turn it on the radio.
he gets
Hey,
on the... And Kirk is like, hey, so this is what's going on. We got a little issue. And Stop it.
Do we have a little issue, or do you have a little issue?
I think I may have a four-legged issue.
Four-legged issue. That's okay. We are at the end of this episode anyway. I mean, at least Star Trek, and so they beam down some flintlocks. And,
They beam down some flintlocks, and...
serpents for the Garden of Eden.
Mm-hmm. So they even it up this whole war and leave everybody, to knuckle it out, and then they beam up, and then, hey man, we're gonna go. So here's what you do. This is how you use it. Knuckle up. Peace out.
Suck it up, walk it off, knuckle up.
So I don't know what else to tell you, man. I mean, that's
Do it all.
That's what you got to do.
And that's it. And yeah, we're this is first hour complete of Rules of Nerdquistion. I think our next subject is deserving of an entire hour. So I don't think we're going to get to return to tomorrow today. We'll just push that. We're playing.
We'll talk about that next week. It'll be all right.
We're ADHD. We do things on our own time. What
right?
time is it? No, I'm kidding.
Damn.
Do you need to take care of a four-legged issue before we move into what I think is a very important topic, especially in today's age of AI and artificial intelligence? And
well, absolutely. I mean,
the Matrix series.
Well, I mean, just not only just the subtleties behind it, the implication, everything. So
religious implications, the modern day equivalencies, all kinds of stuff.
So let me.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Yeah. And all she needs to do is go outside. And then it'll be
the little puppy outside.
About 5-10 minutes, be letting her right back in.
I will take this moment to do a non-paid sponsorship. Trader Joe's saddle potato crisps are better than Pringles. They're better than Pringles. I'm just saying. I mean, they're better than Pringles. I used to love Pringles. And they just, over the years, I don't know, got too crunchy. They weren't as crispy. They became crunchy and not crispy. So yeah, sea salted saddle potato crisps from Trader Joe's. If you're feeling bougie and you want the fancy pants version of Pringles, right there they are. No, I'm not paid for the sponsorship. I just happened to go to Trader Joe's today and I've got a snack sitting there. It's going, hey, eat me. Kind of like Alice in Wonderland, eat me, drink me kind of thing. But yeah, we sort of came up with talking about the Matrix last minute. Didn't have a second. Our original goal has been to sort of streamline the series and try to talk 2 episodes of Trek per. Because if we do only 1 episode per, we're going to be doing this until we're like 97. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to live that long. And we want to get through all of it. We want to share all of our opinions. And part of that, while Star Trek, the original series, is our foundation, we got to get through it to get to what we really want to talk about. I know that Gilbert and I have a great love for the golden era of Star Trek, which we both call the big 3, Next Gen, Voyager, and DS9. And I know that Gilbert is probably far more excited than me, and I'm already excited to talk about Discovery, which is a fantastic series. And we're on the verge of Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3.
Yeah.
Season 3. So lots of good stuff coming. But it's interesting that you brought up The Matrix because I just watched the movie. Have you seen Slingshot? It's got Casey Affleck and Lawrence Fishburne and some other dude.
No, I haven't seen that.
It's like some deep space mission and they're trying to go to some planet. Or they're trying to go to Titan. The moon of Saturn, and they got the whole plot of the movies to get to this slingshot and slingshot around Jupiter to get there faster. It's a psychological thriller / sci-fi. It's an interesting movie.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I
It's on.
I want to
Where did I
say I've
see it?
seen a trailer
Paramount.
for it, but
I think it's on Paramount. I think that's where I
okay.
watched it.
That's probably where I saw the trailer for it, was on an episode of Star Trek then. Yeah.
And
So,
still, just throwing this out there, Paramount. I currently I canceled my Paramount account when I moved, but my dad signed up and I'm using his now. Um, I have no ad Paramount, which is wonderful. But if you could give it to both of us, it's like a thank you.
I mean, that would be
Continuously talking about your shows.
that would be great. You know.
I mean, and
And
where do I watch Survivor? On Paramount Plus.
I mean,
Come
I watch Paramount Plus almost every day, you know. If it's not Trek,
on. I probably do watch it every day.
if it's not Trek, then it's a movie, you know, like Dungeons and Dragons, Sonic the Hedgehog, TMNT.
We corrupt any quote. You see, we got Paramount Plus. I'm watching something.
I'm watching something.
I'm watching something.
So there's that. So it'd be, you know, it'd be really great. It'd be really nice. And I think honestly, it would help your image a lot, you know, if you would give us ad free. You know, I'm just saying, you know, we could.
It is super nice, and I think Gilbert deserves that luxury. And I don't think that my dad should have to pay for it. I think that.
Man, I think her dad deserves the luxury. I deserve the luxury. She deserves the luxury. I mean, it's not. You can afford it. I mean, I'm just saying.
We're just
But you
throwing
know,
it out there.
hey,
So, Matrix.
The Matrix.
Did you
Yes.
first see that in the theater, or did you see it? Me, I did not see it in the theater. I did not see it until it was like on DVD. I think we rented it. We never saw it in the theater.
No, I did not see it in the theater. I saw it. Actually, I think I saw it on VHS. I think I should do it. I think I didn't actually. No, I take that back.
Came out in 1999. The reason I did
take that back. I do believe I saw it on DVD because, yeah, that's when I was watching DVDs then.
I was overwhelmed with Star Wars in 1999 because that's when Phantom Menace came out.
Phantom Menace, and
I couldn't focus on anything but, which is funny because The Matrix is a better movie.
No, but at the time it was Phantom Menace and Star Wars came out because it had been what since like 86, since Return of the Jedi.
83.
Return
of the Jedi came out in
Yeah.
83. And fun fact: The Matrix beat The Phantom Menace for best special effects in the Oscars. Bullet time took it home.
In which that was it. In that effect right there created its own special name, and special name is called Bullet Time.
It's called Bullet
because of that slow motion effect, but has the motion blur with certain objects. Yeah, it became its own thing. So it revolutionized, effects, video effects, graphics effects, and
interestingly enough, a year before the movie Dark City came out with Rufus Sewell, you remember that movie?
Yeah.
Where he was like on that little like floating city, had Jennifer Connelly in it from Labyrinth, and he very similarly, you have a world where one man has this power to control things, and there's this oppressive group that's like trying to wipe his memory and make him be part of the system again. Different sense, but decent movie. Check it out, not too bad. Came out in 1998 again. Jennifer Connelly, Rufus Sewell, Kiefer Sutherland was in it. William Hurt. So yeah. Good thing to check out there. But
And I think at the
First
time,
time-
it was such an original premise to the movie, and it's kind of what took off with it. And then after years of just watching it, and just seeing a lot more parallels with it, religious wise, spiritual wise, social economically. I mean, just
Yep.
it hits hard and it hits home.
And we should always point out, or at least I should always point out, it is important to know that the Wachowski sisters now, who at the time of the movie came out were called the Wachowski brothers, two trans women, created this series. And there's certainly some trans allegories in it. I will not sit here and tell you, as a trans person myself, that The Matrix is only a trans allegory. There is
Right.
so much to take from this series.
Oh, absolutely.
Like we said, religiously, modern, with AI, modern comparisons, stuff like that.
Mhm.
But certainly, and one of the characters in the original series, or in the original movie, was Switch, who was originally supposed to be a transgender character I think in the real world was supposed to be male or female, and then when they went into the Matrix, became the opposite sex. They kind of
Right.
went away from that and just made that character
Just-
more non-binary.
Yeah.
But the original
Because,
intent was to make that character sort of a trans thing.
And also the twins. Was it in the? No, it was in the second one. I'm thinking in the Matrix 2, where there was the two twins, that were dressed in white, that were. I believe that they were
Merovingians, like
representation.
hitmen.
They were representations of the Wachowskis. As more,
There was for a
As a-
long time an internet rumor or myth or questioning, like, is it the Wachowskis portraying those two characters?
yeah,
They thought for a while that
That's-
might have been
yeah,
them.
that might
There
have
was
been
some
that, yeah.
internet discussion about it,
yeah, because
and that's from the Matrix Reloaded,
because they look more, non-binary than anything. Like you
yeah,
can
they
see,
definitely were masculine characters with very feminine qualities.
right, and so that's kind of one thing. And I thought that was pretty interesting. I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. And then another thing that I also heard is that Matrix, it's a prequel. It's a prequel series or a sequel series to the Terminator, in essentially which AI.
Other cross fandom kind of discussions.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Humans wake up and they're like, nah, this sucks. So that the AI is like, okay, well, we can't just plug them into our computers anymore. Let's build destruction machines and just go wipe them out. Hey, it's a good mix. I mean, because AI did, AI robot apocalypses and stuff like that. And I'm just saying, given an apocalypse choice, I'll take zombies any day. Because most of them are slow. They don't think tactically. And again, I know I've said this on the show before. One of the greatest things I ever read was in a Cracked magazine years ago. And it was like the 6 reasons that a zombie apocalypse would fail quickly. And they go over the basics, too hot, too cold, this, that. But number 6 was humans and the guns and the humans who use them. And their analogy was a zombie going after a human, meaning its apex predator is its number one food source, would be like us having to fight a lion to the death with our bare hands every time we wanted a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That would be a zombie fighting a human anytime it wants a meal. Also, remember that time that dog got rabies and then in a week every dog had rabies? No, because biting is a terrible way to spread disease.
Yeah. Because honestly, I think the most effective way is airborne.
Airborne.
Yeah.
Airborne virus would be the best way because it would affect everyone so quick. Yeah,
But,
George, you're right. I mean, there are certain exceptions. I mean, you have 28 Days Later, which not really zombies. It was more like a human rabies disease.
Yeah.
You've got World War Z. They were fast moving. definitely scarier in that case. There's always
But see,
zombies. And
but
if
see
you start with
then,
Night of the Living Dead and you move through the series, they progressively get smarter and faster.
yeah, but then it's like this. Zombies are from is from what how they've always been portrayed is that zombies are individuals that have died and then now the corpses have been reanimated.
Correct.
But if somebody that's infected with a virus, would that mean that they actually are a zombie, or would that mean they're just sick?
Well, I guess it would
But
depend on the
then,
context. I would say Walking Dead, they are definitely zombies because they do
because
get
they
sick
do
because
die,
of a virus, but they do die and then they
and
come
then the
back.
virus kicks in.
Right. But 28 days later, not zombies. They're
Yeah,
just
because
infected people
they're just infected. Yeah,
with some kind of rage disease. They don't need to eat people. They just have an unrequited
they
desire
just
to
have
kill.
this thing just to spread that disease.
Right.
Yeah.
Same thing with World War Z. I don't believe that
hmm
are they dead in World War Z
I
or they're just infected.
I don't think they're dead. I think they're
See?
just infected.
It says the
It
AI
says
answer
zombie.
is they are referred to zombies because they are considered to be undead.
Okay,
I
so
would say that would be the key element in a zombie has to be undead. You're not a zombie if you're not undead. If you're still living, like in 28 Days Later, which, by the way, 28 years later is coming out. We've
I
had
see
28
that.
days later, 28 weeks later. Now we have 28 years later coming out. So, obviously the first one was best. Cillian Murphy, shout out to you. Awesome. You're a great actor. Anyway, love you.
So yes, way to stay creepy. Way to stay
Way to
creepy.
stay creepy, Scarecrow.
Way to stay creepy.
Would you like to see my mask? Anyway,
Oh, Killian. So
most
but
powerful scene for you in the original Matrix? In the first one.
ooh. I think it's when he's first. I'm talking about Neo. When he first wakes up and he looks around and he sees that, and he sees all the pods, and he sees the real world, before the Nebuchadnezzar can find him and takes him out,
Right,
and
before he gets dumped into the
yeah,
trash, essentially.
and you look and you see the whole confusion of the veil now has been lifted, and his eyes are open. He sees now what the actual world is. So
Right. When
yeah,
then he gets picked up by the Nebuchadnezzar, and the last thing he sees before he passes out is Morpheus saying, "Welcome to the desert of the real."
so, right. And just that look around, and it's almost like you can see that, you can feel that. Is that confusion and just like, why can't I move my eyes? Why can't I move my arms? Why am I blind? Why the hell is going on? I'm so confused. What the hell is this? What's going on? Where am I? What is this?
Why do my eyes hurt?
Why do my eyes
Never
hurt? Why?
used them before.
Right. And all of those things, and it's just so, it's him just, the scene for me is just like him breaking out of the Matrix, and then understanding, what the real world actually is.
Right. And I think that affects me too. I mean, obviously puns and innuendo aside, because you can find one there, but like when he climbs out of the goo and he pulls the feeding tube out of his mouth,
Yeah.
it's like it's freaking long. And it's like, I say this as somebody, again, innuendo aside, I woke up once during an endoscopy. when I was supposed to be out.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this camera that's this thick going
Like,
down my throat.
yeah.
And I panicked, and I distinctly remember like them saying like, "Oh my God, she's awake, more anesthesia." Like I remember this, and they were shocked that I remembered it when I finally woke. Like, no, I went back out under and woke up after the procedure. But I mean,
Yeah.
that
But
when I saw that, I was like, oh, I
yeah,
mean,
because
it harkens back to the alien chest burster scene, like
right, and especially that when you say that, especially that scene when you see is that he pulls it out and he's wondering, is like, what the hell is this? Why is this? And you see just the shock and confusion and just like, what the hell is going on?
yeah,
And then
always.
and then he realizes, Toto, we ain't in Kansas anymore.
Right. I mean, he specifically asks, like, when he wakes up later, and Morpheus is sitting there, and he's like, I can't go back, can I?
And Morpheus is like, would you want to?
Right. No, but would you want to? And then I think that's actually after, like, well, I think is one of the most impactful scenes for me is the red pill, blue pill scene.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
First of all, conservatives, you don't get to claim that you're red pilling because you didn't. You all are full on the blue pill. Just because conservatives like the color red doesn't mean you red pilled. Y'all are living in fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are living
straight up in a fantasy.
Straight up in a fantasy world.
So
But,
you are.
After that scene, and it might even be in the conversation, you know, Neo wakes up and he's like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
And I go back and Morph says no. And that's when the whole conversation starts like, well, you know, you believe, you know, in your world, it was 1999. We think it's probably closer to 2199. But the most impactful line of that dialogue was, but we don't actually know.
Yeah.
So
that's the
human
scariest thing.
Has been wiped out.
It has been completely
they don't really
erased.
Know.
So what
year it is, where they come from. They're like, you know, we don't know who struck first, but we know it was us. It scorched the sky. You know,
so,
we could wipe them out.
Yeah. So the only thing as far as what they know is just stuff they speculated. And just speculated of what's been left behind.
Yeah,
and it's just
we talked about this before. I just want to say, like, when you watch The Matrix, definitely watch the Animatrix as well. The second Renaissance, parts 1 and 2, are incredibly disturbing. And I've said this before, especially the scene where the machines are coming alive and they're testing humans and they're trying to, and they've got this human like, cut in half and they're just prodding and poking, and like they put a pen here and it laughs and they put a pen there and it cries, and they're just like,
just experimenting with humans just to see, you know, what nerves do what, you know, what organ is this, what, you know, learning everything that they can about human, you know, anatomy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and again,
creepy.
You know, it's really creepy and again, disturbing, but, you know, Animatrix, it kind of fills in the holes and the gaps of some of the things of questions that you'll ask throughout the whole
things
series.
that happen in between the movies.
Yeah.
Like the skateboard kid. You know, if you've never seen the Animatrix, you don't understand the significance when, I don't remember his name, when the kid says to Neo, but you saved me. And Neo says, no, you saved yourself.
You saved yourself. And it's
There's
like,
significance to that.
Yeah.
And you have to see that episode
in order to realize
Animatrix,
is that
like Gotham Knight. Yeah, it's like broken up into little like short stories.
Yeah.
Like six or eight short stories.
And again, just great stuff. And just like you said, fills in the gaps, answers questions. You know, and I think another really good, you know, good powerful scene for me is at the end of the very first Matrix when he flies. And it's like this. He now realizes and he's opened his eyes and he's, you know, woke now.
No limitations.
And so now he knows, it's like, you know what? I can do all of this stuff, and you know what? Maybe I could fly. And he takes off. Because now
and that
he knows what he can do. He knows, he is awakened now.
And that leads into something I always thought was cool about Superman. I know it's just one possible iteration, one possible theory, but I had read in one book, I think it was a who's who in DC Comics in like the late 80s, and there were sections in it of different versions of Superman. And one version of Superman was like, how does Superman fly? And the answer was because he chooses to.
Yeah.
No magical reason for it, no scientific reason, because he chooses to. And that's exactly what Neo did at the end.
That he chose
hence
to.
Leading to later comments about Neo, like, where's Neo? Oh, he's doing his Superman thing.
Yeah.
You know?
And then they kind of addressed that in the Smallville series when it came to Clark and discovering his powers, and he knew he could fly. He knew he could fly, and if he fell from the sky, he wasn't going to hurt himself or anything like that, but
obviously,
but he chose not to fly because he was scared of heights. Right, which is always the funniest thing, is that
you can fall a mile or 10 miles and like just get
up and walk it off, and the only thing that'll happen is just like your clothes will just be dirty, but
or if you fell at hypersonic speeds and you weren't wearing a super suit, they might
be
burn
naked.
off.
You'll be naked. You'll be naked when you get up. You'll get up and you'll be fine. But and I always thought that was funny, is that he didn't fly because he was scared of heights, but
giving him a very human weakness.
Yeah,
growing up with humans, he's going to adapt more than just
like
mannerisms.
It'd be like
fears and
the fears
stuff.
And his pride and all of the emotions that that come with being human.
Isn't it interesting how fear is always like a motif in comic books? Because so obviously we've established that Superman, despite all of his powers, does feel fear.
Mm-hmm.
Batman also feels fear, but uses it as a weapon.
Right.
Daredevil is the man without fear. Interesting little things to throw out there. It's a recurring theme.
Because fear is the motivator. Whether it's motivates you, to put on a yellow ring like Sinestro, or it motivates you to control that fear and put on a green ring. It's a motivator.
Which I never read any of the series. Like, I didn't even realize that it was a thing until I started playing the Arkham series, and we got to Arkham City.
Mm-hmm.
One of the special skins was the Sinestro Corps Batman. I never even thought of that before. Never even heard, but I was like, how perfect is that? That's like his group right there. Like, you recruited the perfect person to be in the Sinestro Corps.
Yeah, because
that man already uses fear as a weapon.
He already uses fear, yeah. And here's the thing, and the thing that scared him the most is what he uses to scare people. And that's a bat. That's what scared him the most. And so I dress up as a bat. It scares everybody else. And that's exactly what it does.
One of the most profound lines in Batman Begins. Why bats, sir? Bats terrify me. It's time my enemies felt my dread. I mean, you don't get more badass than that right there.
I mean, right there.
Like, this messes with my head, and now I'm going to mess with their heads.
Yes.
But anyway, we get some pretty cool fight scenes. I mean, definitely a powerful scene is, what do we need? Well, we're going to need guns.
Yeah, lots of guns. And of course, here comes, the Matrix with a whole gun racks.
The lobby battle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the
lobby battle,
guns.
yeah. And then and I always
That's where
had
you get bullet time from.
Right.
On the rooftop.
on the rooftop, yeah. And then the second one, I always had few people I knew when I always had debates about it. In the second Matrix was Neo fighting the 100 Smiths, and the obvious CGI fight, and it was, of course,
If
naturally,
it were made
just
today, nobody would have that argument.
oh no,
So
because
I let it go for a product of its time period.
right, because
It was
I mean,
still groundbreaking.
yeah, I mean, made today, it would look, like Keanu Reeves, like actually fighting 100 Smiths. It would
Not
look
many
just like
people
that.
cared that Luke Skywalker didn't look totally like Luke Skywalker when he showed up at the end of Mandalorian. They're just like,
Yeah,
oh my God,
it's like, oh
effing Luke
shit,
Skywalker.
it's like, oh shit, Luke Skywalker, right? So,
Right.
and my thing is that okay, at the time, yeah, obviously you could tell and see that it's clearly CGI, but here's the thing, though, that scene helped build up to what it leads to at the end is the entire world of Smiths, and that's the start of it. And you start seeing that, and you start seeing
He
is that
reproduces
whatever,
like a virus.
yeah,
Which is another metaphor in the movie. The
right,
system
exactly,
being taken over by a computer virus.
exactly, and that's exactly what it's doing. The Smith, as
And
as
how many
Neo said it,
times-
the Smith virus.
You're an IT guy.
Mhm.
I'm not IT much anymore, but I've worked in IT. I've had certifications. I was a network administrator. I managed a data center. How many times? I've always said this. Technology is like owning a pickup truck. Everybody needs you. When you have a pickup
Yep.
truck, everyone needs you to help you take this there or that. there.
Mhm.
When you have IT knowledge, it's like, man, my computer's got a virus. And every time I go over to their house too and be like, well, stop going to these porn sites because they're the ones infecting your computer.
Yes.
But anyway,
Stop going to the porn sites. You'll be fine.
right. I mean, stop clicking on everything that comes up in your email that says, like,
Hey, click
super
here.
hot college babes. Like, no, stop. Just stop.
Stop clicking on the click here, click now, click this emails. Don't do that shit.
Stop doing that. Stop doing that. My boss asks me that all the time. She's like, we sent out like a rogue email the other day to check everyone. Did everyone, reported as spam? And I'm like, no. If there is a email in my email box at work, even on my own computer that says click here, if I don't know what you are, I'm just deleting it. You're gone.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to interact with it.
Right. Because
I'm sorry. Yes, I may have AT&T cellular service, but if it says AT&T.com/user 7697441.com,
yeah, no,
it's not an official AT&T email.
that's going to trash.
And I'll just delete the email anyway, even if it was from AT&T, and open the app on my phone
Mm-hmm.
and see if there's anything in my correspondence.
Yeah. Because that's how you know it's actually legit.
Anyway,
So-
another great quote from the original Matrix. How'd you do that? Do what? Move like they do. I've never seen anyone move that fast. It wasn't fast
So,
enough.
but it's fast enough. So, and in a way, foreshadowing that whole thing was Morpheus saying is that, Neo saying, you mean I'll be able to move fast enough to dodge bullets? Said, no, I'm saying is that
When the
when the time comes,
you're ready.
you won't need to.
You won't have to. Right. And exactly. And it even gets more powerful as the movies go on because you get to the end of the first Matrix. He's in the hallway. Agents are gunning him down after he already died and came back. And he just turns and looks and he's like, no.
Yeah.
And all the bullets stop.
And it's mid-air and just stops.
It's like, no. It's like, nah. Ain't gonna fly. Whereas in the Chateau battle of Matrix Reloaded,
Mm-hmm.
he just holds up a hand. He don't say shit. And there's
Like
this wall of bullets.
This whole wall of bullets, it just...
And then he looks down and they all fall. And that's what's so awesome because he's like, you get him out of here, I'll handle these guys. And the mayor of Vengeance, like, you'll handle us?
And
yes.
says, yes,
Neo's about to handle you.
I will handle you. Yes.
He's going to manhandle every one of your dudes. And
Right,
even to the point
yes.
where the Merovingian gives him respect at the end of the battle. He's like, oh, okay, you've got some skill.
So
Yeah, maybe he drew a little blood when he blocked the sword, but I want to see one man ever block a full sword swing with the
his
knife
hand. Yeah.
knife edge of his hand. I want to see that without some kind of metal protectant. You know, like that was badass. And that fight, I think, was fantastically choreographed. And I think that The Matrix Reloaded has one of the best scores of the three movies. I love Furious Angels, which is the fight at the beginning when Neo walks out. He's like, the meeting's over. Agents are on the way. Get back to your ships or get to your exits. And then he just owns those three agents. You know? And then the Chateau battle, the warp speed flight into traffic.
Yeah, Save Morpheus. Yeah, that was a great one.
But the sword fight, here's a discussion a friend of mine and an old friend of mine had once. It seems characters have certain signature moves. Trinity has the Scorpion Kick.
Yeah.
Morpheus has this like flying Superman ground punch.
Right.
Morpheus never lands that punch once in all three movies that he appeared.
Guess that's his favorite punch.
But it never works. And I'm a big fan of Morpheus because I'm like, dude, stick to the sword. Like,
yeah, because the sword works for him.
You may not be Neo, but you cut the tie off one agent. You slice the cheek of the same dude in the same fight, and you held off the two disappearing, ghostly twin creatures with the sword before you jumped in the car and took off and did that badass little freeway chase scene.
So the sword works. Sword works for you. Stick with the sword, man. I'm a
fan of swords, and having trained in Kenjutsu, and with the katana before. I'm a big fan of swords. Swords are deadly. But fast.
Maybe the only thing maybe I can think of is that it's one of those moves where it's a setup move. Like if he does hit it, then great. But if not, then it sets him up for something else.
You know, he didn't even land it on Neo in the first Matrix when they're fighting in the dojo.
When
because he's like up in the air, like ready to, and then Neo moves. Like
Neo's just like, "Fuck are you doing?"
that was another powerful moment, I think, and it's just dialogue. It's not even the fight in the dojo. It's when Morpheus is like, "How did I beat you?" And
because like, you were better,
faster than me. And,
no.
and Morpheus is like, "Do you think that my being faster than you has anything to do with my muscles in this place?"
That's it. Yeah. You think that's actual? You think what you're doing, sweating right now? You think what you're breathing is actually air?
Right, and to the point where Morpheus even makes an audible, you know, like,
yeah.
It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. So I love Lawrence Fishburne as Morpheus. We'll get to Matrix Resurrections here, in a minute. But I obviously think The Matrix was the best of the two. I love the entire series. I don't think that they were bad. People have arguments about this and that. The final showdown between Neo and Smith, in the rain. Like the rest of me is just going to watch.
So and you just see, and again,
Hugo Weaving, you are creepy as hell in this role, dude.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm not so
and you
bad
just
once you get to know me,
Mr. Anderson.
There's a trans allegory right there. Keeps dead naming him.
He
even says it at the end of the Matrix, like, "My name is Neo."
Like,
calling me
and
by this
every
other
time,
name.
But every time he sees him, Mr. Anderson.
Surprised to see me? No. Neo's like,
See,
nah, really.
and even
I've seen everything
see,
now.
yeah,
Nothing
and even when Smith was able to follow him out into the real world, and first thing he goes is, "Mr. Anderson," even knowing full well, out here I'm Neo.
Look past the
That's
soft gelatin of these dull cow eyes and see your enemy. That was crazy.
Yes.
And then he burns Neo's eyes out, but then Neo catches the pipe and looks up and says, I see you.
And again, that's one of those things again is where, just like how when he first woke up from being in the Matrix, and now it's like, yeah, he's blind, but then he sees the truth.
Right. No, exactly. 1 second.
All right. But yeah, it's one of those.
Oops. Didn't hit the electronics, thank goodness. All right.
But
Don't want to fight a sticky keyboard. Ugh, it's the worst. Anyway,
hey. It's a family show. I don't know what you. Hey, I don't know what your sticky
If
keyboard.
Your keyboard is sticky, sir. It's definitely different for different reasons than mine. All I did was spill a soda, and it wasn't even that much because it was almost empty. Anyway,
All right. Anyway,
sorry, Mom and Dad, who don't watch, but sorry. Anyway,
oh but yeah, and then again at the end, of course, when after he beat Smith and did his whole sacrifice of I'm sacrificing my life for peace and blah 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 and all this other stuff, and then it's just I don't know.
yeah,
I'm not sure about the way it ended like that, because the whole pose of him, being almost like, Jesus, and, giving his life, to save ours, and, sacrifice himself, the whole allegory like that. So
we all know about the Matrix, and we've got about 20 minutes left in today's show. So let's talk about a couple of things, and I want your opinion because I value your nerd perspective. First of all, what did you think about the Matrix Resurrections kind of flip-flopping the roles between Neo and Trinity?
I liked it. I thought it was definitely refreshing. Because honestly, let's be honest, without Trinity, Neo would have never been able to beat Smith. Let's be honest. If it wasn't for her,
they're each other's yin and yang.
Yeah,
they're one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
They're the same coin.
Yeah,
and not
exactly.
necessarily positive, negative, but maybe logic versus love.
Yeah, so I mean, they wouldn't be able. Like I said, Neo wouldn't have been able to beat Smith without her. So, and I like that whole flip of it now, because now it's like, at first, he was the Superman and she was the Lois Lane. But then now showing it's like, no. She never was the Lois Lane.
Supergirl.
Now it's Supergirl
and Clark Kent.
Yeah. And so, and I'm realizing is that he's still Superman, but she's not Lois Lane. She never has been the Lois Lane. She's actually always been, the Supergirl. And now that this is showing them the reason why that it was always that case. And again, if it wasn't for her, Neo would have been completely stuck in the new Matrix by the new architect. If it wasn't for her. Because again, if it wasn't for her, there wouldn't be any Neo.
No, you're right. And I think that the Oracle very clearly said that, and it's important to point out that while, I'm not sure if the second actress passed away or not, but Gloria Foster, who played the first Oracle in the first two movies,
yes,
passed away before the making of the third. They kind of wrote in why they had to, change her appearance, which I thought was cool, rather than just not addressing it.
Yeah. And just saying that, oh, well, the Oracle said.
But if I walked into Gloria Foster's kitchen and she was like, would you like a cookie? Hell yes, I want a cookie. Like, no one in the world makes me more comfortable and wants to have a cookie than she does.
Right.
I mean, she's grandma. She's your fun auntie. She's that nice lady down the street. She's your friend's mom that loves all the neighborhood kids. Like, she offers you a cookie. She's not a creepy person in a white van. She gives you a cookie. It's like you can eat that cookie, and you know that you will feel right as rain once you've finished eating it.
Right. She's that one that'll give you the motherly advice, or she'll do that shit talking. If whatever the case is, whatever you'll need, she got you. You need a cookie,
Yes.
She got a cookie for you.
And it is important to point out Mary Alice, who took over the role of the Oracle, did pass away in July 27th, 2022. So rest in peace, ma'am. You stepped into some big shoes. And I thought you did a great job. So
Did an amazing job.
One of my favorite things about the Matrix movies is the diversity.
Oh,
Not just like the trans underline, but I mean, there are so many black and brown actors and actresses in these movies. In lead roles, not just supporting roles, not just this person's going to die at the end of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So many of them like pulled an LL Cool J and got to the end of Deep Blue Sea and didn't die. Just saying.
They did, yeah. But yeah, and Resurrection, it was just great seeing is that, now Neo being that support for Trinity.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was great.
Against an almost indomitable recreation of Agent Smith.
Yeah. And
he was terrifying.
Oh, fuck. Oh, absolutely. And especially since it took both of them to take him down, like this one is a way different Smith.
Oh, yeah.
And but yeah, I know it came into, some controversy and some people, having opinions about it because, oh, well, this, why is Trinity is this? It should be Neo. Open your minds, man. Just.
I don't dislike Harold Perrineau. As someone who leans on Lost a lot as my comfort series, I love Harold Perrineau. But I'm sorry, I don't know who it was up in the upper management of the Matrix. Y'all did Marcus Chong wrong. Y'all did him wrong. Tank did not die. He said he would clearly be okay, and y'all didn't bring him back.
You're playing with our emotions. Just playing with our emotions. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Apparently it had something to do with him falling out with the filmmakers. But I mean, God.
Of course.
He was so real. He was one of the, he was a natural born human. He wasn't bred. He wasn't from the Matrix.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm from Zion. There's a party. So that's where it's going to be. Like all this stuff. I don't know if I like the idea of naming it Zion, but especially in this day and age.
Yeah. I mean,
but whatever.
At the time, before all this, it was all right. But now, no. No.
Funny little
Mm.
Matrix tidbits. What was it? Let me. Matrix cat. Oh, no, wrong one. Wrong tab. I can never remember his name. He was the bad guy and also in Risky Business.
Tom Cruise.
Played Cypher. Joe Pantoliano.
That's
Played
what I
Cypher. What'd you say?
said. Tom Cruise.
No, although someone could argue that because capitalism sucks, but no.
But
Joe
yeah,
Pantoliano,
Yeah.
when he's having that meal with Smith, and he's like, I believe my brain is telling me this steak is juicy and tasty and blah blah blah, and like I want to be put back in the Matrix. I want to be an actor.
Somebody famous.
Oh, look.
A lot of money.
He's an actor. Like, are we in the Matrix? So that's another question from the Matrix. Like, is this movie fake, or are you in the Matrix watching a movie about your own world that you believe is real but isn't?
Mm-hmm. It's like,
right.
Is this like a
what is happening here?
Is this a fourth wall meta type of thing? I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what's going on here. But yeah, it's him sitting with Agent Smith and just saying that I want to be put back in. I don't want to remember anything. I want to be someone famous. Like an actor or something. A lot of money. And so,
And that scene is very visceral because every time I watch it, I want frickin' steak. The steak he's eating looks so good.
It's so good.
It looks so good. I want it. I want it now. It's like perfect medium. Like,
It's right? It looks perfectly seasoned. The whole nine. And he's looking, he said, I know that this is just a bunch of ones and zeros. But my brain is telling me that it smells delicious. It tastes great. And it's juicy and it's a delicious steak.
Yeah. And even Morpheus touches on that. He's like, what are feelings? What are sensations? What is pain other than electrical signals interpreted by our brain?
Right.
Like pain when you smash your finger or something, your finger doesn't hurt.
Yeah, it's your brain saying, this is pain.
Ow, and it's damaged, and you need to address the damage.
Yeah.
It's a red alert.
Right.
We have destabilization of the left phalangeal attachment.
Red alert. So right. And again, it's just really trippy because it makes you think. It's like, yo, is this? And especially the one scene of there is no spoon.
There is no spoon.
There is no spoon. And looking at it now, it's like, I was looking at it, it's like, of course there's a goddamn spoon. I see the fucking spoon. The spoon right there in your hand. It's a spoon.
But there is no spoon.
But then now when you look at the whole thing, it's like, oh, there is no spoon. I get it. And so, yeah. And then now it just keeps popping up on now my For You, like stuff about the Matrix, behind the scenes.
What about the Matrix 5, which is rumored to be in production, and Keanu Reeves has said publicly, "I'm in."
Oh.
The original rumor was that Will Smith was going to be the new Neo, the new one. Which would be okay. I'm fine with Will Smith as long as he doesn't, After Earth again. That movie.
I don't know.
Maybe too comedic. Because he was good in Men in Black.
Yeah, Men in Black. Yeah, he was good in Men in Black.
But it fits his comedic nature. Like Fresh Prince of Prince of Bel-Air kind of thing.
Yeah. And
No, I could see that. He's definitely doesn't have the serious acting chops like his wife or partner,
no.
however you want to.
Yeah.
Jada's got serious acting chops, and we've seen it in Gotham. We've seen it in Matrix.
Right. So he probably could. But I think it just, for me personally, Keanu Reeves is Neo. He's always going to be Neo. Forever it will always be Neo.
It's important to point out this was a initial rumor. I mean, we now have official confirmation that Keanu Reeves is in. The Wachowskis are not going to be directing. It will be directed by Drew Goddard. But the Wachowskis are very much involved.
Okay.
So it's not like they're just walking away from it.
Yeah. They just say, here, you got it.
No.
Well, that's good.
They're very involved.
That's good, because generally you see, like, with directors or producers or stuff like that, when they walk away from it, it sucks. So if they're going to be, still deeply involved in it, but they're not going to be, directors or, producers, but they'll have their fingers deep up in it. Pause. Then, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, and as we said in one of our recent episodes, although it's not yet confirmed that Carrie-Ann Moss will be returning, she's already flexed her sci-fi chops. I mean, she can literally be like, yay or nay if she wants.
Oh, why wouldn't she?
But please come back.
Why
Please.
wouldn't she?
Okay, please. You and Reeves are the only two we need.
It's like, that's it. And besides, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? I mean, you gotta redeem yourself for, being killed off within the first 5 minutes of the Acolyte. I mean, granted, yes, you were there throughout the whole series and flashbacks and memories, and okay, and I give you that. He had a great, had a few great lightsaber battles as well. Okay, I give you that, but that's not going to negate the fact that you got killed within the first 5 minutes of the first episode.
And while you brought many great elements to Star Wars, in the same way that Mark Hamill's brought many great elements to other sci-fi franchises, the Guyver, for example, Harrison Ford with oh my gosh, Ridley Scott's the Android movie.
Oh,
Ugh. Why is the name?
Oh my God! If you hadn't said, I would have remembered just now. Oh God.
Blade Runner.
That's it. Yeah, Blade Runner. I just saw something about that too. Oh my God! I saw a YouTube video about that one too.
Is there another Blade Runner coming?
Not a third one. No, it's just the two. But it was one saying that Decker, which is Harrison Ford's character
from
that there was a deleted scene or hidden scene, something like that confirmed that he was actually a replicant the whole time.
Interesting. So I guess there is a follow-up coming on Amazon called Blade Runner 2099. We'll
really?
See. Maybe we should talk about that next week. I'm going to need to do a little more research. But Carrie-Ann Moss, like I said, you've definitely got your hooks into more than one sci-fi franchise, but The Matrix is yours.
Absolutely. And
like Luke Skywalker,
hands
Mark
down.
Hamill's, and whatever. So,
hands down.
We need you to come back. I think we're both on the same boat, on the same consensus here. That without both you and Reeves, it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, no. I mean, it under a technicality, it will probably be good, but without both of you, I wouldn't accept it. You know, like how the architect said in the Matrix that, you know, every time that they tried it, they'll try to make it absolutely perfect, but everybody rejected it because it was too perfect. It'd be like that.
Yeah. But we always appreciate everybody listening. We are coming to the end of another Rules of Nerdquisition. If you have questions, comments, you can always drop us a line at rulesofnerdquisition@gmail.com. We check the email regularly to see if you have any questions or things we can talk about. Hey, insult us for all we care. I mean, we're not going to respond to it, but, whatever. If you're going to insult us, be creative. Be nerdy.
Yeah. If anything,
put some effort in.
If anything, we'll spotlight you on the show and roast you right back. Because
roast you right back.
That's what we do.
But we'll be back next week with the with Return to Tomorrow. Apparently, we just have too much nerd stuff to talk about, so we can't tell you that we're going to do this or do that. But we'll.
So we got to
maybe Blade Runner needs to be a discussion next week. That's certainly
I do believe so.
Staple of sci-fi.
Yeah. That's
both movies. I've seen them both. You've seen them both.
It's been a hot minute since I've seen them. But yeah, it's been quite a hot minute. So yeah, I think it's due for me for a little Blade Runner marathon. Little Blade Runner and a Blade Runner 2049. And what is this?
Doesn't look like it's on anything I have, but I mean, I have the Blade Runner director's cut on DVD, so I can watch that one. 2049, not really sure about that one. Looks like it's on Amazon, but it's for purchase. Renting, you can't buy it. I don't know.
And looks like
we can get the relevant information from the internet.
Yeah, and it looks like Blade Runner 2099 is a TV miniseries.
Yeah, on Amazon.
And on Amazon.
Prime Video, whatever it's called. It's just Amazon now. Prime Video is not really a thing. But...
This is already out? It says here it's coming soon. On IMDb.
I think it's coming soon. I don't think it's out
okay.
yet.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll check it out. As soon as it drops, I will check that out. But yeah, I'm definitely going to watch Blade Runner and 2049. 2049.
The original Blade Runner is one of the classic sci-fi epics, in my opinion. I think it's like a noir film. It's a detective story.
Definitely
in a sci-fi world.
Definitely cult classic.
That we don't have yet. Like, we don't have these like Coruscant type cities we live in. We live in suburbs and.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome to. Hey Siri, set a reminder. Oh my God, my Siri just came on. You heard. I don't need a reminder, Siri. Thank you. That being said,
we have come to the end of the show.
Come to the end of the show. A private little war. Decent episode. Armagato, Mr. Magato, whatever. Albino unicorn gorilla thing.
All right. I like it. Mugato.
We'll be back with Return to Tomorrow and the Blade Runner series next week. And whatever else crosses our ADHD brains. I'm Gretchen. I will leave it, as always, to my fabulous and most wonderful best friend and co-host, Gilbert, to send us on our way.
So, it was a great show. Had a great time. I love it. Blade Runner next week, so everybody tune in. Keep your triples spayed and neutered. Live long and prosper. Take care, everyone.